Good day, viewers. My name is Victor Ogunyinka, and you are welcome to another edition of Matters Arising on the Tribune Online TV. Today, we are going to be looking at a very critical issue that has been making the round, and it has been about the planned protest of one of Nigerian A-list entertainer, Innocent Idibia, popularly known as Tuface. Over the week, over the days, over the time, there has been protests, and people are still protesting, which they say is one of the fundamental rights of a citizen of a country. But I don't know why it has been very, very unfortunate that on Tuface's case, there has been a lot of controversies from left, right, and center about why he should or why he shouldn't make the protest. Today, I have two analysts in the studio with me that will be talking about this on both the political front and the entertainment front. By my right is a seasoned analyst, Mr. Abiodun Awolaja. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And also to my left is an award-winning reporter, Mr. Shegun Adebayo.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay, very quickly, we want to look at what has been happening. Why is Tuface generating a lot of controversy with this protest?
I think that it is basically because of the personality that we're talking about here.
Okay.
Tuface is perhaps the most outstanding of the young generation of Nigerian musicians. It's a voice not only in Nigeria, but in Africa and possibly around the world. So when a personality of such caliber says, I want to do something, it is natural that a lot of people would be interested in what he has to say and would want to join, merely because of the person leading it. So that's what I think.
Some have said this protest is almost uncalled for because of the political undertones. Some politicians have shown interest in joining this protest. Do you think Tuface is actually, fronting something that looks like a political rally in disguise?
I think the fundamental question we should ask is this: is there a basis for any Nigerian, and not just Tuface, to protest? Are there things in Nigeria that people are displeased with? Are there things that people are not comfortable with? If there are things that people are not comfortable with, then automatically that means that Tuface coming out to say, I am not pleased with certain things and I want to express my view, it's not something that is so bad.
Okay, let me turn to Shegun. Tuface is a sensational musician. He has sang a couple of songs talking about his grievance about government and the likes. So why is he choosing to go to the street this time to make his voice heard?
For every action, there's always a reason behind it. For me, I think it's just that people these days tend to misinterpret actions.
Okay.
Basically. So for Tuface to have come out to say I want to protest and leading a protest,
okay,
I think we should also understand the fact that it was not Tuface who started this thing. There was going to be a protest.
Okay.
Which I understand that was going to be a protest, and Tuface keyed into that protest because he has always been this protest person. Like his songs talked about why things should be done properly in the country, why Nigerians should not suffer, and even if there's going to be any issue, we should also come together. I mean, we should live peacefully. And if you look at, I think he did. There was a campaign he did prior to the 2015 general election when he talked about people should vote and not fight. So that tells you that Tuface was coming from somewhere before he got to this point. So that he's coming out to say there was going to be a protest and later there wasn't going to be any protest again. I mean, I think he has a point. But we should just look at what brought about the protest and why did he decide to call off the protest.
Before Tuface actually called off that protest, there have been warning from security agencies telling him not to go about, with the protest. Do you think this could be one of those things that that triggered his action?
Well, for me, I was not privy to what happened and why. I didn't know there must have been pressure on that man. I mean, he has a family. He is responsible to a lot of people, and he has a voice. The government understands that. The security agencies understand the fact that when Tuface says, "Let's go," that means let's go because people respect his voice. Okay. So they believe that for him to have said this protest will go, I mean, he insisted that it was going to go, and he was all bent on saying it will go. Okay. But all of a sudden, he just had that the thing had been called off, and he cited reasons that it could be hijacked. He cited that the protest could lead to mayhem and all of that. I mean, because security just also said the same thing. So maybe that's why that he decided to call it off. But for me, I think it was too late.
Okay.
I think it was too late to call off the protest. I don't know, it was too late for him. I mean, he should have done that before now. I mean, there have been calls, there have been discussions going on. So why just like less than 24 hours to the day of the protest when Nigerians are actually prepared?
Okay.
They're not coming out to say it.
Okay. Let me ask you, Abiodun. You know, Tuface, like we said, is a very popular, number in the country.
Yeah.
That protest would have drawn a lot of crowd from everywhere.
Yes.
Do you think the security agencies, irrespective of what they are supposed to do, they are supposed to ensure, the safety of life and property? Do you think they were actually right to give a warning against that protest?
I think that I have to go to the way. I have to go back to something that my ancestors in Yoruba land say. They say that awi funikoto dani agba ijakadi. That if somebody is going to engage you in a fight and the person tells you beforehand his plans, that means that the person is confident of what he intends to do.
Okay.
Tuface could have just led a spontaneous protest. He could have gone out without telling anybody that he's going to protest. Nigeria could have got to know about it through perhaps the newspapers or the TV. So the fact that he gave advanced information to the security agencies that this is what he intends to do, to me, shows the honesty of his intentions.
Okay.
If, however, for any reasons the security agencies feel that the protest should not, go on, that's left for
Okay,
them.
but Tuface is just one in several hundreds or thousands of people that will be involved in this protest. If we are sure of Tuface's sincerity of this protest, we don't know what others are bringing to the table.
Well, I recall that during the last administration there were protests. If you recall, in January 2012, if I remember correctly, when the federal government increased the pump price of petrol from, was it 97 naira, from
97, yeah.
was it 97 or 87 to 141 naira? There were massive protests all over the country. You saw what happened in Lagos when notable musicians, politicians of all shades and hues, Pastor Tunde Bakare, Femi Falana, and the rest of them, they expressed their minds. If you look at what is going on right now as I speak, there's a Super Bowl going to take place for 6 p.m. US time today, and Lady Gaga said that she's bringing her politics, because she's supposed to, she's bringing her politics into it. Across the United States of America as we speak, people are protesting. So it is only in Nigeria, perhaps, that we have this thing of it has been politicized, it has been hijacked. If it was politicized, the government is a political enterprise. Protests are political. Human beings, or man, as they say traditionally, is inherently political. So they're whether political or not.
Tuface had his wedding in Dubai. Some people questioned and said that why should Tuface go all the way to Dubai to hold the wedding if he's so patriotic? That's by the way. It was said to have been sponsored by a state government. And then some are actually looking at what Tuface is not saying about the protest. Some actually said it could be political if he's leaning to one part. But what is Tuface protesting against?
I think it was clearly stated what he wanted to achieve with the protest. He felt the government has not been doing enough for the people, especially this current administration. He felt that the people are suffering, which is obvious. He felt that the people needed more, but they are getting little or nothing. And which is, it's affecting everybody. It's obvious that he has his reasons for him to have come out to say there would be protest. And it's not even going to be in Lagos alone, it's going to be in Abuja. So it's just that it's unfortunate, really. It's unfortunate that people felt the protest was hijacked, or maybe some people, some elements have hijacked it and maybe penetrated and all of that. Nobody really knows what happened. Tuface, I'm not in his shoes. I wouldn't be able to tell you what he was feeling at the time he said the protest would not go on again. But for me, I think the truth of the matter is that there was going to be a protest even before Tuface announced there was going to be a protest. So whether or not, immediately after Tuface released that video, there was another statement. I don't know if you've seen it, that whether or not Tuface joined the protest, we would go ahead with the protest. So that tells you that whether Tuface is part of it or not, the protest will go. It's just that the fact that Tuface is there is leading the protest. People would respect that protest. People would join, and a lot of people have actually joined the protest, even on social media. But let me also tell you one thing about Nigerians. Nigerians are very funny people. They tell you they want to do this, but they are all just on the social media. They take their protest is always on social media.
Right.
And you see, it will shock you that on Monday, Tuface will not even see about 300, more than 300 people joining me on that protest because a lot of people are scared.
Okay.
But you know, they can hide behind their phones and all that, and the comfort of their rooms and don't see anything. And we join the protest. I mean, I wrote a story. Like I think 2 weeks ago, I got an information, but I couldn't release all the information I got because I was also scared.
Okay.
One, not that I didn't trust the source of the story, but I felt no. When you have an information, you don't release all the information at once. You keep some, then you release some. So I got that the protest might not hold. Yes, because a lot of artists who benefited, quote unquote, from the APC government prior to the election would not join that protest. Some of them benefited, but some of them are still benefiting.
Okay.
So they will not join. It's like you don't buy the fingers that fed you. You understand? So that's just the way it is. And everywhere you move around, it's all about politics and politics and politics.
Okay.
Because the fact remains that whether you do it or not, others will join. Others who will join are joining because they've not been reached out to.
Okay. Okay. Abiola, let me take your final word on this. Tuface pulled out in the 11th, hour of the protest. Is that logical or cowardice?
Well, I would say it was logical.
Okay.
You see, if the security agencies that are supposed to provide security are telling you don't go ahead with it, there is nothing really Tuface could have done. But as he was speaking, something came to my mind.
Okay.
I read in the papers just yesterday that some people in the Nigeria police are planning to stage a protest about their working conditions. If you remember, during Obasanjo's time, if I'm not mistaken, there was a protest by policemen, the rank and file, not the officers.
Okay.
It actually held from corporal to sergeants. They held a protest. That was when I think Tafa Balogun was the Inspector General of Police in this country. So if the police that are telling you that Tuface shouldn't go ahead with the protest are also themselves planning the protest, that tells you that there is more to this story than meets the eye. So I'm not going to blame Tuface too much. In fact, I'm not going to blame him at all because he can definitely not provide security. If the security agencies say that, please don't go ahead with this because some people are planning to hijack it, Tuface on his own, if he decides to go ahead with it, if it turns bloody, some people might say that, okay, you have become an enemy of the state because you are filled with information about people planning evil and you went ahead with your protest. So, but I think what the security agencies should simply have said that is this: based on information we have, we think it would be nice for you to shift your protest to another time.
Okay. Would you have loved to see a Tuface protest? It's a one of a kind of.
Well, I was actually looking forward to the day, to the protest, even though I wouldn't be part of it because I'm in Ibadan. The protest is going to hold in Lagos. But I had promised myself I was going to monitor it from the beginning to the very end. But unfortunately, it's not going to hold for reasons best known to the people. But for me, it was so unfortunate that that protest is not going to hold again. I'm seriously pained. Seriously.
Okay, thank you very much, viewers. You've heard I've been speaking with Abiodun Awolaja, a political analyst, and Segun Adebayo, an entertainment reporter. That is it on this edition of Matters Arising. Please keep your comments coming in. We enjoy your feedback, and we're very, very happy to know that you are always there for us. Thank you.